Okay, welcome back. Here we're looking at the parts for my bridge and neck pickup, and we'll take just a quick gander at them. I purchased the coil wire spools here from Shatton Design. I work 10 minutes from Shatton Design, so I just my lunch break I just ran over and picked up my coil. This is the same coil wire that StuMac supplies. You'll see it on their catalog, as well as the winder that Shatton designs. I went down there and did a bit of a tour with them and saw how they did stuff there. Small place, but nice little work outfit. They don't make they make transducers. They don't actually make pickups, humbuckers, or single coil, but they do supply wire, and they allow front counter sales. So I saved myself some shipping and ordering through StuMac in this case. There's my 42 gauge and my 43 gauge. The remainder of the material came from Mojo Tone. Here's my Alnico magnets for the bridge, and we have the bobbin material and our copper plated base plate, and we have our fancy chrome neck pickup cover and the bobbin material and the magnets. I'll be using this little doohickey here. This will be used to drop the top of the bobbin down nice and flat over top of the rods as they've been placed in the lower portion of the bobbin material. I'll be using my drill press to press them in. I won't be hammering them or anything like that. I don't plan to put a bevel on them. I'll just use them as is. They're unmagnetized at this point, but they'll be magnetized once the pickups are put together and potted. What else have I got here? I've got these spacers. They're 1/2 inch. This is Korean countertop stuff I picked up, and it's 1/2 inch, and I'll use that for spacing in the bridge, and I think for the neck pickup as well. So from here I'll put together my bobbins. I'll dip them in the shellac that I have. Instead of using a lacquer, I'll just dip them in my gallon of shellac that I use for my sealer. One coat, and then I'll let that dry. Then I'll clean off the eyelets and get prepared to do the winding, and that'll be the next step. We'll see. Okay, we're getting ready to press in our rods. I've done a bit of a prep to the base bobbin of the bridge. I've added these little grooves for when I wrap my wiring, the coil, and I've also flattened down my eyelets so that when I run it on the winder, it's not going to catch on the eyelet. So I've knocked that down a bit with a punch and a hammer, and I'm just sticking my punch into the chuck of my drill press, and then I just begin to press in my rods. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And there's one there. Actually, there was one process I forgot to do. I didn't do it on the first one. Was I just took a drill bit, and by hand I just kind of gave it a bit of a bevel. That way I can get my rod centered. There, it's a little easier there, as you can see. Let's have a look at the progress, so you can kind of see how easy this is. Okay, so I've got my top bobbin lined up, and I'm just going to go along and just get each section started. Okay, we're getting a little more success now. One thing I'll need to do is just bring this up, which I'll have to do off camera, but you can see I've kind of dropped in there but it's getting flush here. We'll just play around with these rods and get them back flush to the bottom. Okay, so we're looking fairly good there. And I'm just gonna clean off the excess from the hole being smaller than the diameter of the rod. Okay, so here's our bobbin. It's ready for dipping in our shellac. Get everything coated, and then we'll prepare for winding. I'm going to continue on and work on the neck pickup, and until then I'll see you later. Alright, here we have our finished bobbins. We have our bridge. You notice I don't have the staggered pull layout for the rods, just flat across the top. And spacing's a 1/2 inch. And here we have the neck pickup. It also is using a 1/2 inch space, and nothing too elaborate there. And I'm using just standard tele specs for these, nothing out of the ordinary. And I'll give that information once we get a little closer to winding. Alright, so we're all set to dip our bobbins into our shellac. It's as easy as that. So let that hang and drip for a bit. Then I'll hang these to finish drying, and then we'll move on to the next step.